Rachid, a 12-year-old boy living in the heart of Marrakech's bustling Medina, was no stranger to hardship. His family was poor, and the weight of helping them often rested on his small shoulders. That morning, determined to find work, he wove through the narrow alleyways lined with vendors, spices, and the vibrant colors of the souks. The scents of fresh bread and leather filled the air, but Rachid had no time to linger. His mission was clear: find a job to support his family. After hours of searching, Rachid finally landed a position at a small shop selling traditional Moroccan pottery. The elderly shopkeeper, impressed by Rachid's eagerness, hired him on the spot. His heart filled with hope, he rolled up his sleeves, ready to sweep the floors and assist with customers. But the Medina had other plans for Rachid that day. Just as he was settling into his new role, a strange man entered the shop. His long, flowing robe and piercing eyes made him stand out among the usual customers. He approached the counter and exchanged a few cryptic words with the shopkeeper. Rachid couldn't hear what was said, but he felt the atmosphere shift. The shopkeeper's usual warmth was replaced with nervousness. Suddenly, the man turned to Rachid. "Boy," he said, "I have a job for you, something far more important than sweeping floors." Before Rachid could answer, the man handed him a small, ornate box. "Take this to the spice merchant by the old fountain," the man said. "But be quick and tell no one." Without thinking, Rachid nodded and ran off, gripping the box tightly. As he weaved through the labyrinthine streets of the Medina, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. He glanced down at the box, noticing strange engravings along its edges, symbols he couldn't understand. Just as he reached the old fountain, disaster struck. Rachid was stopped by a group of men in dark robes. They demanded to know what was in the box. Fearful and confused, Rachid hesitated, but the men snatched the box from his hands. A struggle ensued, and before Rachid could comprehend what was happening, the box shattered on the ground, releasing a cloud of strange, shimmering dust into the air. The men fled, leaving Rachid standing alone, his heart racing. His job, both at the shop and with the mysterious man, was gone in an instant. He had lost everything in a single strange moment. As the dust settled, Rachid noticed something odd. The old fountain, which had been dry for years, began to trickle with water again. The people around him stopped to marvel at the sudden return of life to the fountain, but Rachid could only think of the consequences. What had he been carrying, and what would happen now that it was gone? With no answers and no job, Rachid returned to the shop, only to find it closed and the elderly shopkeeper nowhere to be found. His adventure had left him with more questions than answers, and as the sun set over the Medina, Rachid knew that his life had changed in ways he couldn't yet understand.